Wealth doesn't come to those who simply wish for it. It comes to those who prepare their mind to receive it. The richest people in the world do not just work harder than everyone else. They think differently. They approach money with clarity, discipline, and courage. And this is what sets them apart. The truth is simple. The journey to financial freedom doesn't begin in your bank account. It begins in your mind. If you want to change your financial future, you must first change the way you think about money. Today, let's explore 7 powerful money mindset habits that wealthy people live by. These habits can transform not only your bank balance, but your entire relationship with money and success. Habit 1. Money does buy happiness if you use it. Right, for years, people have been told that money can't buy happiness. But let's face it, that phrase has held more people back than pushed them forward. Money may not buy love or purpose, but it certainly buys comfort, freedom, and opportunity. Think about it. Money allows you to walk away from toxic environments, choose a career you actually love, provide security to your family, and build the kind of life you dream of. It doesn't mean you must worship money. It means you should respect it as a powerful tool. Here's the shift. Stop feeling guilty about your hunger for money. Wanting wealth isn't greed, it's ambition. The problem arises only when obsession takes over, when the chase for money blinds you to everything else. Use money as a vehicle, not the destination. When you master this balance, you unlock both happiness and freedom. Habit 2. Give yourself permission to fail. Failure is the gatekeeper of wealth. Most people never build true wealth because they are too afraid of failing. They play it safe, stick to what they know, and avoid risks so they never grow. Here's the reality. Every wealthy person has failed more times than they've succeeded. The difference is, they don't treat failure as the end. They treat it as feedback. Failure teaches lessons success cannot. It sharpens decision-making, builds resilience, and forces you to grow beyond your limits. When you fail, you don't start from scratch. You start from experience. Think about all the opportunities you've hesitated on. Starting that business, switching careers, investing in yourself, moving to a new city. Fear of failure has probably held you back more than lack of ability. Wealthy people see failure as tuition. They pay for mistakes, but in return, they earn wisdom that compounds over time. The moment you give yourself permission to fail, you give yourself permission to succeed. Habit 3. Detach from the outcome. We live in a world obsessed with results. Everyone wants the prize, but very few are willing to focus on the process. The wealthy understand a secret. When you attach yourself too strongly to the outcome, you weaken the quality of your input. Why? Because your mind is distracted, anxious, and impatient. But when you detach from the result and focus only on the work itself, your effort, your discipline, your consistency, the results naturally follow. This principle is as old as wisdom itself. Ancient texts like the Gita emphasize working hard without being consumed by the fruits of that labor. When you detach from the reward, your creativity soars, your patience strengthens, and your work becomes far more powerful. Detach from the outcome, but never from the effort. That's the path wealthy people follow. Habit 4. Build an inner scorecard. Here's one of the most transformative mindset shifts you'll ever make. Stop letting society define success for you. Most people chase what others want, a fancy car, a big house, designer clothes, because that's how society measures success. But true wealth isn't about appearances. It's about building a life that matches your personal values. This is where the inner scorecard comes in. Instead of measuring yourself by what others think, measure yourself by your own standards. Do you feel proud of your decisions? Do your financial choices align with your goals? Are you living authentically, or are you just trying to impress people? Wealthy people don't waste money trying to keep up with trends. They spend less than they earn, they avoid unnecessary debt, and they prioritize freedom over approval. Warren Buffett put it best: if you simply spend less than you earn, avoid leverage, and invest wisely, you will become rich over time. But more importantly, if you live by your inner scorecard, no one can define success for you, because success is already defined within you. Habit 5. Think bigger than everyone else. Most people underestimate their potential. They play small, dream small, and settle for less because they fear disappointment. But wealthy people think differently. They dare to imagine outcomes far beyond the average person's belief. Instead of asking, "What if I lose 30%?" they ask, "What if I gain 300%?" This doesn't mean being reckless. It means having the courage to think audaciously. When you think small, you limit your opportunities before they even appear. When you think big, you attract possibilities that would otherwise remain invisible. Your mindset creates your reality. If you expect small gains, that's all you'll ever get. But if you condition your mind to look for extraordinary upside, you'll position yourself for extraordinary rewards. Wealth favors the bold, not the timid. Habit 6, create more, consume less. Here's one of the most overlooked secrets of the wealthy. They are creators, not consumers. Average people spend hours every day consuming, scrolling on social media, binge watching TV shows, buying things they don't need. Wealthy people spend that same time creating, building businesses, writing, learning new skills, designing products, making investments. The difference is simple. Consumers spend money, creators make money. Studies show that wealthy people spend very little time on mindless entertainment. They read, they build, they research, they practice, they grow. They know that every hour wasted consuming could have been an hour creating value, and the world always rewards value. Ask yourself, are you creating more than you consume? Or are you feeding someone else's wealth while starving your own? Habit 7, master first principle. Thinking. Wealthy people rarely accept limitations. Instead, they break problems down to their core and rebuild them in smarter, more efficient ways. This is called first principle thinking. Instead of asking, what's possible within the existing rules, they ask, what are the fundamental truths, and how can I rebuild from there? This mindset is how innovators reduce rocket costs, reinvent industries, and build fortunes. They don't follow the beaten path, they question it. First principle thinking pushes you to challenge assumptions, ignore limits, and find new solutions where others see dead ends. It's how industries are disrupted and wealth is created. If you want extraordinary results, you must stop thinking in ordinary ways. Bringing it all together. Now imagine living with all 7 habits. You see money as a tool for happiness and freedom. You embrace failure as part of the journey. You focus on effort instead of obsessing about results. You measure success by your own inner scorecard. You dare to think bigger than anyone around you. You spend more time creating than consuming, and you rebuild problems from the ground up using first principles. This is not just a wealth strategy, it's a life strategy. These habits won't just change your bank balance. They will change your confidence, your relationships, and your entire future. Wealth begins in the mind, and when your mindset shifts, everything else follows. So the question is, which of these habits will you start practicing today?